don't feel the bite. Not at first. There's no sharp pain, no warning signal, just a nearly invisible landing and a microscopic incision. By the time your brain realizes something is wrong, the process is already underway. Because a mosquito doesn't just bite you, it performs a complex surgical procedure. Beneath that fragile-looking body is one of nature's most specialized feeding tools, the proboscis. But it's not a single needle. It's a bundle of 6 ultra-thin structures working together with precision. 2 of them are serrated, acting like tiny saws that slice through your skin. Others hold the wound open, and at the center are 2 tubes, one to inject saliva, the other to draw blood. Once the mosquito finds a blood vessel, it begins to feed, and that's when your body starts to react. The mosquito's saliva is a biochemical cocktail. It contains anticoagulants to prevent clotting, vasodilators to widen blood vessels, and anti-inflammatory agents to delay your body's immediate response. Without these compounds, the mosquito couldn't feed efficiently, but your immune system notices. Within seconds to minutes, your body recognizes these foreign proteins as a threat. Immune cells called mast cells release histamine, a signaling molecule that triggers inflammation. Blood vessels in the area expand. Fluid leaks into surrounding tissue. Nerve endings become more sensitive. This is what creates the classic mosquito bite, a raised, red, itchy bump. The itching is not random. Histamine directly stimulates sensory nerves, sending signals to your brain that produce that irresistible urge to scratch. And when you do scratch, you temporarily override the itch signal with pain, but at a cost. Scratching damages the skin further, increasing inflammation and sometimes leading to infection. But for most people, this reaction is mild. For others, it can be extreme. Some individuals develop what's known as skeeter syndrome, a severe allergic reaction to mosquito saliva. In these cases, bites can swell dramatically, become hot and painful, and even cause fever. But the visible reaction on your skin is only part of the story. Because the real danger is what you cannot see. If the mosquito is infected, its saliva may contain pathogens, viruses, or parasites that enter your bloodstream at the exact moment of the bite. Take malaria, for example. When a mosquito carrying Plasmodium parasites bites you, it injects a form called sporozoites into your blood. These are highly specialized, fast-moving cells designed for one purpose: reaching your liver. Within minutes, they invade liver cells and begin multiplying silently. At this stage, you feel nothing. No pain, no symptoms, no warning. But inside your body, thousands of parasites are being produced. After several days, they burst out of the liver and enter your bloodstream, invading red blood cells. This is where the disease becomes deadly. Inside each red blood cell, the parasites multiply again, eventually causing the cell to rupture. This releases more parasites, which infect even more cells. This cycle repeats over and over. The destruction of red blood cells leads to anemia. The immune response triggers intense fevers and chills. And in severe cases, infected cells stick to blood vessel walls, blocking circulation, especially in the brain. This condition, known as cerebral malaria, can cause seizures, coma, and death. Now consider viruses like dengue or Zika. Unlike malaria parasites, these viruses don't invade red blood cells. They target immune cells. Once inside your body, they hijack your cell's machinery to replicate rapidly. Your immune system responds aggressively, releasing signaling molecules called cytokines. In dengue, this response can become extreme, leading to what scientists call a cytokine storm. Blood vessels become excessively permeable. Plasma leaks out into surrounding tissues. Blood pressure drops, and in severe cases, internal bleeding occurs, a condition known as dengue hemorrhagic fever. Zika virus, on the other hand, has a different target. It can cross the placental barrier in pregnant women and infect fetal brain cells, disrupting development and causing microcephaly, a condition where the baby is born with an abnormally small head and severe neurological damage. Even viruses like West Nile can cross into the brain, causing inflammation known as encephalitis. But malaria is only one part of a much larger and more dangerous picture. Mosquitoes are responsible for transmitting a wide range of pathogens, viruses, parasites, and microscopic worms that affect hundreds of millions of people every year. Each major mosquito genus specializes in different diseases. The genus Anopheles is responsible for malaria, caused by parasites of the genus Plasmodium, including Plasmodium falciparum, the deadliest form. But Anopheles mosquitoes can also transmit lymphatic filariasis, a disease caused by parasitic worms that damage the lymphatic system, leading to severe swelling known as elephantiasis. Then there is the genus Aedes, particularly Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus, two of the most dangerous urban mosquitoes in the world. These species are responsible for spreading multiple viral diseases. Dengue fever infects an estimated 100 to 400 million people every year. It causes high fever, severe headaches, and intense joint and muscle pain, earning it the nickname breakbone fever. In severe cases, it progresses to dengue hemorrhagic fever, leading to internal bleeding and shock. Zika virus, also spread by Aedes mosquitoes, is usually mild in adults, but devastating during pregnancy. It can interfere with fetal brain development, causing microcephaly and lifelong neurological damage. Chikungunya is another viral disease transmitted by Aedes species. While rarely fatal, it causes extreme joint pain that can persist for months or even years, significantly impacting quality of life. Yellow fever, one of the oldest known mosquito-borne diseases, attacks the liver. It causes jaundice, turning the skin and eyes yellow, along with bleeding and organ failure. In severe cases, it can be fatal. Then there is the genus Culex, which plays a major role in spreading diseases in both tropical and temperate regions. Culex mosquitoes transmit West Nile virus, which can lead to encephalitis, dangerous inflammation of the brain. While many infections are mild, severe cases can result in permanent neurological damage or death. They also spread Japanese encephalitis, a disease that primarily affects children in parts of Asia. It causes brain inflammation, seizures, and can leave survivors with lasting neurological impairments. And they contribute to the spread of lymphatic filariasis as well, reinforcing how multiple mosquito species can carry the same disease. Across all these diseases, the numbers are staggering. More than 1 million people die each year from mosquito-borne illnesses. Malaria alone accounts for around 600,000 deaths annually, with the vast majority occurring in young children. But beyond death, the true burden is even greater. Hundreds of millions of infections, overwhelmed healthcare systems, and long-term disabilities that affect entire communities. And all of it begins with a single bite, a brief contact, a nearly invisible exchange. One mosquito, one moment, and potentially a life-changing disease. So what begins as a tiny, almost unnoticeable bite can escalate into a full-body biological crisis. And yet, the mosquito itself remains completely unaffected. That's part of what makes them so effective. They are not harmed by the pathogens they carry. They act as reservoirs and delivery systems perfectly evolved to transmit disease from one host to another. But there's another layer to this interaction. Mosquitoes don't choose their victims randomly. They are guided by a sophisticated set of sensors. They detect carbon dioxide from your breath. They sense body heat. They can even identify specific chemicals in your sweat, like lactic acid and ammonia. Some people are simply more attractive to mosquitoes than others due to genetics, skin bacteria, and even blood type. In other words, you might be more likely to be bitten than the person standing right next to you. And once a mosquito finds you, it rarely feeds just once. A single female may bite multiple hosts in one reproductive cycle, increasing the chance of spreading disease. This is what makes mosquitoes such efficient vectors. They connect bloodstreams, they bridge species, they turn isolated infections into global threats. But here's the most unsettling part. Everything you've just heard, sir, happens in seconds. From the moment the mosquito lands to the moment it leaves, an invisible chain reaction begins. One that can determine the outcome of your health days, weeks, or even months later. So the next time you feel that itch, remember what caused it, not just a bite, but a microscopic invasion. A chemical battle beneath your skin. And in some cases, the beginning of a disease that has shaped human history more than any war ever could.